Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Donkey Kong 64, Part 9. Part 9, fellas. We're almost to the double digits already, if you can believe it. Fellas, in the last episode, we finished off the remaining bits of Angry Aztec that we have to do for now. Of course, we will have to come back there later when we have Chunky, as well as coming back to Jungle Japes. However, for now, we are actually going to take care of some business with Tiny real quick, because if you guys remember, actually we have to manually go to this because we don't have the banana port yet. If you remember in the last episode, or maybe it was the episode before, it was around the time we unlocked Tiny, we unlocked her mini monkey ability, which opens up a lot of possibilities for her. And also, it basically gets a whole new mechanic unlocked. But before we do that, we're going to actually use her feather gun to hit that real quick. I don't know why that missed. I genuinely do not know why that missed. But we're going to go ahead and get this to obtain what is her first GB in DK Isles. I do believe it becomes quite a while before they ever let a lot of the DK Isles GBs, but before they let them become available to you. Sorry if my speech patterns will potentially be a little weird this episode. That is likely going to be due to the fact that I am a little lethargic at the moment. I just got back from the gym maybe 2 hours ago, and it is what it is. But, fellas, we had to go in here with to do mini monkey stuff real quick because, well, if you could believe it, fellas, we actually are unlocking a brand new ability. So basically, we now have the ability to take photos of these little banana fairies. Now, I will be honest with you when I say I don't know how much we're actually going to use the banana fairy stuff. I say this specifically just because I don't know if I want to incorporate doing banana fairies into our repertoire of what we intend to do for this Let's Play. That being said, we, on top of unlocking the ability to take photos of the banana fairies, we also unlock the shockwave ability, where if we use any, like, melee-ish ability, and hold the button, we get this little glowing thing, and when we let go, we do a little shockwave attack. Now, if you remember, there were these little dirt patches that existed. If you use the shockwave ability, okay, on these dirt patches, you get a rainbow coin, which basically, I believe, what is it? I believe it either gives you like 5 or 10 coins for every single Kong. Okay, that is very worth mentioning, and I'm actually going to go around here real quick and get a few that I know are in this general area before we go into our next level. I believe there is one over here with K-Lumsy and whatnot. I don't believe we don't have that ability unlocked for Lanky yet, so we're not going to really handle that just yet, but we're going to get this real quick. This is just to ensure that our economy for everyone is, like, really down pat. So if you look now, man, I mean, like, we've got 27 for Diddy, 30 for Lanky, and 25 for Tiny. To say that we are balling would be an understatement, fellas. Okay, we are quite balling, and I actually do think, for the most part, we're gonna be pretty in the clear for a minute when it comes to paying for stuff in the shops. But just to really be awfully peculiar, I'm actually gonna get this one last one. I feel weird about doing this because I'm about almost 5 minutes into the recording, which is weird to say. I think I spent the first like 30 seconds or so checking something, so take what I say there with a grain of salt. But that being said, I do think just getting these ahead of time, listen, these are important. Listen, making sure our economy is here is going to be very, very important. The exit to Isles button would be really handy right about now. By the way, I just love the fact that you actually, like, slip on that stuff, by the way. The little bananas there are not just for show, and you actually are able to slip on them. I do have something marked in my notes, by the way, my little checklist notes that I don't think we're actually able to do yet. We can maybe do it out of logic, though. We can maybe do it out of logic, but I don't think we're going to do that. So, fellas, big thing that we're actually going to go ahead and do here that is very important and worth noting, and I realized that I actually forgot to write down in my notes, if you can believe it. I am the master of doing that. We actually have a donkey GB to get over here on DK Isles that we have yet to get. It's one of the ones that typically when I think of a DK Isles GB, it is one of the first ones that I am typically thinking about, but it's kind of on the pathway to traversing up here. So this is where you can actually go in and turn your blueprints into Snide here on DK Isles. However, I have a different place that I'm trying to get to, simply put. Now, how to actually access it is a different story entirely. I'm actually a little unsure of where I'm supposed to be going for it. Well, I found this. Okay, so this is going to help a lot because I know that relative to this, if you just do it like this, boom. And there's this little DK coconut gun switch. So if we go ahead and hit that, bada bing, bada bam, there is a GB there for DK. It's very funny that we're actually doing a ton of DK Isles stuff, first and foremost. Some of it less important, but, I mean, all around, you can't really complain much, right? But, that being said, we are going to go ahead and actually get into working towards doing the actual level, if you could believe it. So, yeah, like I said with the Banana Fairy stuff, I don't know for sure if we're going to be doing stuff with the Banana Fairy. We may, but we may not. This box here is going to have a little bit of relevancy later. We can't do anything with it just yet, but it will have a little bit of relevancy. We only need 15 GBs to get into here, fellas. We only need 15 GBs, and we have 44. So to say that we are doing well for ourselves would be kind of an understatement. Oh no, there's one of them Kongs. You know, I'm kind of glad that we had so much to do on DK Isles because, frankly, DK Isles, I mean, like, it's not as, you're not in the main level, you don't have to focus as much. I mean, you know, it is still kind of important and you do have to focus at least a little bit, but it's not that important. Also, I like that that was the whole cutscene. So this is Frantic Factory. Now, if you remember me mentioning this, this is basically like my favorite level potentially in this whole game. It is also, as you can see, the level where we're unlocking Chunky. So, pretty significant deal, all things considered. I'm going to go ahead and grab this one thing. We're going to go ahead and actually switch to Lanky for that. We're going to switch to Tiny for here, but as you can see, we actually can't go this way yet. There's a door blocking that off, which is, you know, how could that ever happen? I also got to see, can this be hit yet? I don't actually remember what this does just yet, because in Rando, you don't have to hit that switch. It opens that. Okay. So I'm a fraud. Oh, okay. All right, man. We're going to go ahead and hit this 3 thing just so we, you know, we make sure we really have all of the banana ports going into all this. We got a line of DK bananas here. Okay. I believe there is also a... There's a balloon for Chunky's currency here, but I'm not obviously able to see it yet because we have yet to own Chunky. In this little crevice, by the way, we got some tiny colored bananas to get. Oh, okay, hold on. Dude, I'm having to, like, remember. Weirdly enough, I feel like this is one of the biggest levels where I probably could give a guide if I really tried, right? But the reality is, man, I don't remember, like, a ton. Real quick, we're going to go around here and get a couple Diddy bananas. But also, Diddy's Kasplat is just kind of hanging out here. So we have that to keep in mind and turn in here in a little bit. Now, as for actually messing with this stuff, as you can see, there's switches with a couple of the Kong's faces on it. I don't think we're able to do anything with that just yet, as we actually have to take care of some business first. I believe this is also closed, yes. So this room's going to become very important here in a little bit once we get stuff in the production room, I believe that is considered moving. We're also, real quick, we're just going to switch to Lanky, go into a Rang stand, just kind of get these bananas. There's also this. I don't know, what does this do? Does this unlock Chunky? Oh, that unlocks Chunky, I guess. What's weird is I didn't know that unlocked Chunky. Okay. Interesting. So, cool. We have Chunky now. I kind of wasn't... I thought you had to do... and that's Lanky's first GB, I guess. I thought you had to do this first, which, by the way, we're going to go ahead and do. This might actually activate a bunch of the production room stuff. I'm not 100% too sure, but obviously we're going to make sure we get these bananas. It's like I knew the moment that I saw where I actually did the shot that it was just going to be all over, man. Like, I just knew it was going to be all over, and that's okay. That's okay. I almost messed it up again, if you can believe it. Hold up. Ooh. Boop. I believe this doesn't take you towards the actual route. I think you have to, like, take the little circle thing. Yeah, like, go this way, and you hit that, and then you hit that. And I believe this should unlock the production room. No, this unlocks the arcade. Interesting. You know what? I might actually remember what unlocks production room, but maybe I don't remember. Okay, so this is interesting as well. When you get the dirt patches, it actually does still give Chunky banana coins. So starting out, we actually do have a bit of a head start in terms of getting Chunky's moves situated and whatnot, which is really, really nice. Real quick, I'm actually, before we go over that direction, I'm going to hit this because I believe this activates. It activates that. How am I consistently getting things so wrong? How do you get the production stuff running, man? It's okay. We'll figure it out. Because the good news is when you're playing it normally, there is a lot more of a, like, it guides your hand a little bit in terms of figuring out what's going to do what overall. I also do just got to see. Okay, so this is going to be for Coconut Gun. That's how you do it. We already have 45 for Donkey, by the way, which is kind of crazy. The bananas feel a little more guided here. I'm going to real quick see what move they give you here for Donkey in this level. We only need 7. We have 37. To say that the Donkey economy is very, very much in a good state would be an understatement. We got Gorilla Grab. So, for point of reference, if you don't know what Gorilla Grab is, that is basically those levers that you see. I believe when it showed the arcade, there was a little lever, obviously, that popped up. Donkey is going to be able to pull those levers and actually do stuff with them. And that is basically his move. Yeah, Donkey basically just has a move where he can pull levers, which is kind of weird. But Diddy also gets the Simian Spring move. He gets the Simian Spring move, which is going to be a very, very helpful move for, I know, one specific GB in here. I think there's also a usage for it. Maybe back in, like, not in Aztec, actually, now that I think about it. I don't know what Lanky gets here. I want to say it's Baboon Balloon. Watch me be wrong about this. Watch me be wrong. Oh my god, it was Baboon Balloon. I know my progression, fellas. It's a miracle, dude. Yeah, so the crazy part is because we actually went through the effort to get our economy for the banana coins up, we actually just have a ton of moves that we can get for each Kong here. So here we have... Interesting how that was only 5. Ponytail Twirl. Okay, so I know that that does get used in this level. And I believe... I don't know. It doesn't get used in any other levels, I don't think. I'd have to kind of look over that, but Chunky, I believe, will also be able to get his first ability here as well. He already has 20, so this is kind of crazy. We get Hunky Chunky, which, if I am remembering correctly, I don't think actually is an ability that will get used that often in this level. I think we're actually going to have to go back to a... Oh, he can buy more moves here. Primate, okay. So it's doing it this way because of the fact that there are several moves that Chunky is able to buy by the time you get him. So we got the Primate Punch ability there, which is pretty significant. I don't think he has... Yeah, he doesn't have any other moves. Chunky gets his first 2 moves basically from there. And then I don't know if we have anything to do with Candy. Nope. I don't think there's anything here. No, Candy doesn't have any upgrades. That does confuse me a little bit. Well, hold on. This is why Candy's here. Because they intend for you to probably... Yeah. Okay, so you get Chunky's instrument. He wields a triangle, guys. If that's not the goofiest thing I've ever seen, I don't know what is, okay? Chunky wielding a triangle is honestly very, very funny to me in ways that I could not describe to you, honestly. So real quick, we actually don't have a ton of time left, but something I do know that we can go ahead and do is over by here, Chunky has a little bit of a thing that we can do. Basically, his Primate Punch ability, he can punch down these little metal bar doors, as well as some other things, but we're going to go ahead and hit this dirt patch real quick so that Chunky's economy can just get a little better, as well as, you know, I guess making the economy for everyone else a little better. But real quick, we're going to go ahead and ground pound this little box, ground pound this Chunky switch, if you can believe it. And there is a GB waiting for us. Now, in order to actually reach that, we have to punch this switch. Yeah, crazy. They're really making us multitask here. So these actually raise up and we can platform a little bit to get to, what is it? The GB. Oh, which this should be our first. Oh my gosh, dude, I am slip sliding around like crazy. Okay, cool. So that gets us our first GB for Chunky in this area. And then I want to say, honestly, guys, let's just real quick. We're gonna grab this. We're gonna grab this tiny Kasplat real quick, just so we have that kind of locked in. But crazy thing is, fellas. Okay, crazy thing is, that's gonna do it for this episode of what is it, of Donkey Kong 64. Weird thing is that we didn't spend as much time in Frantic Factory as I was expecting to, simply just because we actually had a fair bit of stuff to do over in DK Isles, which honestly was not expected, but I don't mind it. I don't mind it all that much, and frankly, I think it is quite okay that, you know, it's quite okay that we got to spend a little more time in DK Isles and, you know, for a good portion of the episode, got to move on to what is basically my favorite level in the game. I very, very much enjoy this level, and I actually just cannot wait to go through it. Obviously, as I mentioned before, after we are done with Frantic Factory, we are going to go back briefly to Japes and Aztec to clear out the rest of the stuff that Chunky has to do, because obviously we haven't had Chunky this whole time. So there's obviously going to be some stuff that we have to clear out for Chunky, but obviously we will cross that get there when we bridge. Yeah. Anyways, fellas, that's going to do it for this episode of Donkey Kong 64. Fellas, if you enjoyed this video, maybe like, comment, subscribe. I don't know, it's your life, do what you want. I don't really care. And I will see you fellas in the next video. Bye-bye, guys!